Hello everyone, I'm Lisa and today we've got 3 budget-friendly Christmas DIYs. DIY number 1 is a Christmas angel. And to start this DIY, we're going to start with a pair of fuzzy socks and a pair of the no-show liner socks from Dollar Tree. We're only going to need 1 of each sock. We're going to start with the pink sock. We're going to lay it flat with the heel facing up. And then we're going to cut in the middle from the top of the sock down to the heel. Next, we're going to turn the sock inside out. And then we're going to hot glue on the edges where we cut. This is going to make the sleeves of the angel's dress. And once the glue sets, we're going to turn the sock right side out and we're going to also turn out the sleeves. We are going to be using a foam cone for her body and we're just going to stick the cone down in the sock. Now you're just going to pull the top of the sock up over the tip of the cone. You're going to put those 2 pieces together and you're going to pull it to one side. And then you can see here I'm just taking hot glue and I'm going to glue that together. I'm going to hold it until it sets. And now it should look like the angel's body with her sleeves. Now I'm just going to take the ornament that I'm going to use for her head. I'm just checking to make sure that it's still going to fit with that material being on the tip of the cone. And then I'm just going to take some hot glue and I'm just going to glue those sleeves down to the side of the body just so they stay into place. Now I'm going to work on her head. I'm just going to take that clear ornament and the little sock liner and I'm just going to wrap it around the ornament, and then I'm going to take a zip tie. I'm going to pull the sock snug around the ornament and then I'm going to fasten it into place with the zip tie. And next, I'm just going to trim off any extra fabric that is hanging down below the zip tie. Now I'm going to add some lace to her dress. I have this lace, it's a pleated lace. I got it from Hobby Lobby. I got it in the remnant section. And I'm just going to wrap it around her waist, cut it to length, and hot glue it into place. And then I'm going to take another piece once I attach her head, and I'm going to wrap it around her neck. I'm going to make sure that it's covering up the zip tie, and then I'm just going to hot glue that into place. And for her hands, I'm just going to take a couple wood beads. I'm just going to leave them the natural color. I'm not going to paint them. And I'm just going to hot glue those up into the inside of her sleeves. I had this curly doll hair in my craft stash, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that. I'm going to cut off maybe 6 or 8 little pieces. I'm going to attach it together, and then I'm just going to hot glue it on top of her head. Now I'm going to work on her halo. I'm just going to take some of this braided wire that I had, and I'm just going to twist it into the shape of a halo, but I'm also going to leave some of the wire hanging down in the back so I can attach it to the back of her head. And I'm just taking my wire cutters here, and I'm just adjusting it and twisting it to the size I want. And then here in a little bit, you'll see I'm going to hold it up to her head, and I'm just going to cut it off to length, the part that I'm going to be gluing to the back of her head. And then once I get it to the size I want, I have some of this white sparkly ribbon. And I'm just going to take that and completely cover the halo and the part that goes down the back. Now that I have the halo completely covered, I'm just going to hot glue it into place. And here she is with her little halo attached. Next, I'm going to work on her wings, and I just found these crystally white greenery from Hobby Lobby, and I just took and cut 2 pieces off that was similar, and then I'm just going to attach them to her back for her wings. And to finish her up, I'm just going to take one of these little white poinsettias, and I'm just going to glue it to the front of her. And here is how she turned out. I think she's just beautiful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. DIY number 2 is a set of gingerbread snowflakes. To start this DIY, I just took 2 of the wood snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and I gave them a coat of Rust-Oleum warm caramel spray paint. And then I took 2 of the white glittery snowflakes from Dollar Tree, and I just gave them a coat of white spray paint. And then I just took the white snowflake and hot glued it on top of the gingerbread snowflake to make it look like icing. And then I had these little gingerbread men that I got from Hobby Lobby, and they have a self-adhesive on the back of them, and I just stuck one of those in the middle. And I just did that with both snowflakes. And to make these stand up, I took a couple dowel rods, I painted them with white chalk paint, and then I had 2 of the wood rounds, and I just took my drill and I drilled a hole big enough for the dowel rod to fit in. And once I got those drilled out, I just hot glued the sticks into the wood rounds. Next, I'm going to glue the snowflakes onto the dowel rod. Here you can see I'm just measuring to see where I want to put them. And then I just put the one snowflake about halfway up the dowel rod, and then on the second one, because I wanted it to be a little shorter, I just hot glued the dowel rod to the very top of the snowflake. And to finish this DIY off, I'm just going to take and make 2 bows out of this red and white ribbon, and I'm just going to hot glue them to the bottom of the snowflakes. And here they are, all finished. I think they turned out super cute for being such an easy DIY. Let me know what you think in the comments below. DIY number 3 is a Santa sheep. To start this DIY, I just made a pattern for his head, his ears, and his tail. Once I get the patterns cut out, I'm just going to trace them onto black felt and cut those out. Now that I have all my pieces cut out, I did double the pattern for his head so it would have 2 sides, and I'm just going to put hot glue around the edges, and I'm going to hot glue it together all except for the bottom. Now I'm going to take a little bit of fiberfill and fill up the head, and then I'm just going to hot glue the opening. Once the glue is set on the head, I'm going to take 2 of the teardrop shapes and I'm going to hot glue 1 to each side of his head. I'm going to do it on the narrow part of his head, and this is going to be his ears. And here is how his head turned out. You can see the hot glue on the edges, but I'm not worried about that because when I do his legs, I'm going to give his head a coat of black chalk paint and it will cover that hot glue up. And here I just took 2 clothespins, I separated them, and I'm just going to paint them black, and this is going to be his legs. Now I'm going to work on the sheep's body. I just got one of these duster mops from Dollar Tree. I folded the one end over to fold it in half to the size that I wanted my sheep to be. Now that I have it cut, I'm just going to hot glue the ends together. Once the glue sets, I'm going to stuff it with fiberfill. Now I'm going to go back in with some hot glue and I'm going to hot glue one end together. I'm going to hold it to make sure the glue sets. Once the glue sets, I'm going to take his head and I'm just going to hot glue it into place. And then I'm going to hot glue the other end the same way, and then I'm just going to hot glue his tail into place. Now I'm going to work on his legs. I'm just going to cut little openings in the front for his front legs, and I'm going to do the same thing in the back for his back legs. And once I get the openings and his little legs stuck down inside, I'm going to go back with hot glue, and I'm just going to hot glue them into place. Now that I have his legs hot glued into place, to make them a little more stiff so he can stand on his base, I'm just going to take these little tiny dowel rods. I'm going to cut some little pieces off, and I'm just going to hot glue them between his legs just to make him a little more sturdy. I found this little clothesline of Santa's clothes at the Dollar Tree for $5. I'm going to use one of the little hats out of that. I thought this was such a good deal. There's so many DIYs that you can make with all these little pieces. Now I'm just going to check the size of the hat on the sheep's head. It was a little bit big, so I'm just going to take some hot glue. I'm going to run a bead of glue up the back of the hat, and I'm going to squeeze it together. This is just going to make the hat a little smaller so it fits a little better on the sheep's head. And then I just hot glued the Santa hat to the sheep's head and bent it to one side, and to make it stay bent over, I just added a little dot of glue so the hat would stay into place. Now I'm just going to use black and white puffy paint for his eyes. And then I'm also going to take some of the black and make him a little nose. And to make him look a little more festive, I'm just going to take some of this Jingle Bell garland, and I'm just going to add it to his neck. And here he is, all finished. He's too cute. Hard to believe he's made out of a dust mop. Now we're going to work on his base. I had my little chip brush that had black paint on it still, and I just took it and put it in this gray wood tint. And I kind of liked the way the black paint and the wood tint looked mixed together. It kind of gave it a more rustic look. And I just rubbed that on there, and then I wiped it off with a paper towel. And now I'm just going to dry it with the blow dryer. And once the little base was dry, I'm just going to take a piece of this short greenery. I think I got this in a pack from Target. And I'm just going to hot glue that down. And then I'm going to set the sheep on top. And then I'm just going to glue him into place. And then I'm just going to add like these pine cones. They're like 3 different sizes. And I'm just going to glue those on top of the greenery. And here he is, all finished. I think he's just adorable. It's hard to believe he was made out of a dust mop from Dollar Tree. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a Santa emoji in the comments below. Once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow. And I'll see you on the next one.